Hey guys, Jeremy here with Indoor Air Solutions. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos that we're going to produce to show you do-it-yourselfers at home or somebody that has a basic installation that wants to try to tackle it themselves. We're going to show you a few quick tips and tricks to help you get started on your project. Today, our first project is going to be a boot combination with flexible duct working. Essentially, this is a vent called a boot in industry speak. This is your boot, and we'll go over the anatomy of all this stuff in just a minute. But just wanted to touch on a few safety considerations first. Eye protection is key. Wear some gloves. Just if you're in a crawl space or attic, you may want to consider a respirator too. This installation, some of the stuff we're going to be dealing with is kind of itchy, so you may want to consider a long sleeve shirt or something to protect the rest of your face. Stuff will eat you up if you let it. All right, let's talk about the boot first. Essentially, this will go up in the floor, and your air is going to come up through this thing. The air will then, the air is going to come out of this top portion here into the conditioned airspace that you're likely going to be occupying. So let's look at this boot here. I'll show you the inside and outside. This is a 12 by 6 by 8, and this is the inside. That's what it looks like. There's the stamp, and I've got some tape on it. Just ignore that. I've done this a couple of times, so just ignore it. So, all right, so you got 12 across here, 6 across here, and this round portion here is 8 inches in diameter. This is also called a collar. Okay, there's your boot. These come in different sizes depending on the CFM requirement or the size of a room. If you've got an existing boot that you're going to replace, bad flex or whatever, just go see what you got, replace that one. Unless, of course, you're doing an upgrade or a room or remodel. Let's talk about the anatomy of our flex here. We have this interior lining here. Okay, again, this is 8 inches. It corresponds to the 8-inch collar on the boot. Those two will connect. We have the interior portion insulation here. This is R8 flex, which essentially means that it's thick. Back in the day, we used R4 code requirements. We're stepping up the R value for this stuff. And this exterior silver shell, also called a foil jacket, kind of keeps everything together and allows moisture to not penetrate our system. Talk about a few tools we're going to need. Razor knife. We've got a expandable one here. Okay, whatever works for you. Pocket knife, just something sharp to cut. We've got 2 types of tape here. The first one I'm going to show you is called Flex Fix. You can see the logo there. Okay, and there's a logo on the inside. Well, I'm trying to roll it around here so you can see it. Okay, there you go. Then the last one, foil tape. Okay, foil tape, essentially a metal tape that's sticky on the inside, and it's got a paper backing here. This stuff, we used it back in the day. I like it. Flex Fix, new stuff, pretty good. And this is kind of what we use on all of our jobs now, but just wanted to show you a couple different types of tape. Well, let's go into the installation portion. First, you've got to expose this interior liner in here, so this interior portion of the flex. Oftentimes, this stuff will, find itself pushed back inside the flex. A good way to get it out is just grab the exterior portion of the flex like this without gripping the inside liner and just pull, right? I mean, this is a short piece of flex, so it's easy to do. But if you got a longer one, you can kind of retract that out pretty far. Okay, get you some good interior portion exposed. What we want to do is connect these two, right? Okay, so what I do is I place the boot, kind of lay it on the inside bottom portion, just like that. Just laid it in there, and with your fingers, work it up on there. Okay, not too bad. And these rungs on this interior portion, get a couple of them on there. Feel comfortable about, how much you've got on there. Okay, then grab you some tape. This Flex Fix is really thin, so you got to find that portion that's ripped. Okay, pull you out. Okay, you can also rip you off some prepped portions, maybe a foot to 18 inches long. Okay, and what you want to do, depending on how wide your tape is you want to split the width of the tape with the metal boot versus the interior liner. So if your tape's 4 inches wide, 2 inches on the metal boot, 2 inches on the interior liner, and of course 3 inches, 1.5, 1.5. So we'll get you a couple of rounds on this. Wrap it all the way around. Okay? Razor knife. The foil tape may not need a razor knife. This flakes, it's kind of hard to tear sometimes. But essentially, that's what you've got. You've got about 3 rounds on this thing. You've got all the edges of the interior portion taped. Okay? Use your fingers to work this all the way around. Get out air bubbles. Make sure the tape is adhered successfully. Oftentimes, just depending on code again, we live in the South, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, well, Rossville, Georgia, which is south of Chattanooga, Tennessee, but with TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, and some of the utilities around here, they require you to use mastic or duck butter or whatever you want to call it on the inside, okay? So, we've got that done there. The next thing, which is probably one of the more important, is the union of the foil jacket, insulation, and boot, okay? So, what you want to do is make sure that these 2 pieces of material line up, this foil jacket, insulation. Make sure that they're there together. One doesn't exceed the other. Okay. So what you want to do is pull these up on top of the boot. Okay. Grab that insulation on the inside with the foil jacket, pull it up together. Okay. Manipulate it all the way up until, you know, it doesn't matter really how high. It does matter how high you get it, but I mean, you don't need to, you know, overhang it too much. And you really want to leave about a 1/2 inch right here from the top. Now, if you get up a little bit higher than that, that's fine. What you don't want to do is this, okay? See what I did there? And tape that, okay? What this does is, see all this metal here? This is exposed to condensation. This equals water. This equals heat loss. This equals cooling loss. This equals money loss. You're going to lose R value of the insulation because it's going to be soaked with water. This stuff is going to condense, compress, and it's going to lead to other issues. If this is an attic installation, then you're going to have you could have sheetrock damage, the more compressed blow-in insulation that you have in your attic. So, you know, get this thing up as high as you can get it. Now, let's take into consideration this is R8 flex, it's thick, so it allows itself to pull up without having to split the foil jacket. Now, if you use really thin flex, like, you know, an R4 or something, you may have to actually take your razor knife and split down the seam, down the small seam. You may have to split that foil jacket to pull that insulation up there. Do that. It's important. Now, if there's a little bit of exposed metal, or you notice that the foil jacket didn't come all the way around, the insulation didn't come all the way around, you know, hijack you some at the end of your roll or end of your flex. Pull that up here, put it in place, get you some extra foil jacket, you know, cut it off a little piece, put it on there, tape it up, you're good to go. The bigger thing that you want to be cognizant of is to not have any spaces along your system that are exposed to moisture, condensation, and that are not insulated, okay? So, let's do that. Let's pull this all the way up, okay? Leaving that 1/2 inch mark, okay? You can eyeball it. Flex fix, get you some more, all right? Pour you some off. Let's tape it on there. And I know I'm going kind of fast, but I want to keep your attention. Watch it a few times if you need to. It's not hard. Just make sure you do the simple stuff. And you can take it, you can cut it now, you can cut the tape now and start up, flip it over and do it again. Or you can, if you're good enough or you have a little bit of experience handling tape, and that's always a problem. This stuff will get tangled up on anything. But wrap it all the way around. If you get it the first time, perfect. If not, take you some more tape and, you know, go over it several times. Just make sure you take your time. I've been doing this a while, but these simple attention to detail type things will save you time and money. It will, especially in terms of replacement costs because of condensation buildup. So that's what you end up with. This again will go up in the hole. The end portion of the flex down here will attach to the trunk line. This is a small piece, of course. Attached to your trunk line. That'll be a later video that you guys can check out. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I appreciate you guys. If there's anything specific that you want to see done, let us know. If you've got a big project, definitely consult with a professional. You know, DIY, you know, do it yourself is fine up until you start spending money on account of, you trying to, you know, do this thing off YouTube videos. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Leave us some comments. We appreciate it. Thanks.